All systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, a.k.a. ToeTagginTambo, back for another edition of the Sunday Main Slate Show. We got Week 6 ahead. Hoopster title here with me as always. I know the International Series game already going on, some field goals over there. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Make sure to hit that thumbs up on the way in. Subscribe to the channel. We'll get to it. We've got the new stone back this week, Hoopster. Maybe if we get 400 likes, maybe we'll preview it. That's our specialty this week. If we get to 400 likes when we get to it, we'll pull up the stone, but it's so much nicer now because it's got the run pass, it's got all the snap counts, the targets per game, it's got the report card on there, just everything you need, like we say. Hoop, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing well. Yeah, definitely excited for that. And let's get those likes up because we'd like to share it with you. So make sure to, when you hop in, hit the like, and also might as well hit subscribe while you're at it. Yeah, good slate. Smaller number of games. We're down to 10 with some buys starting to kick in. And then I think there's two Monday night games. We have the Sunday night game tonight, Lions, Chiefs. That'll be a good one. So only 10 games on the main slate, but the slate overall kind of reminds me a little bit of last week where we have just so many really, really good running back plays, not much to spend on at the quarterback position, and, a couple appealing tight ends, but a lot of people looking to go cheap. And then the mid-tier at wide receiver is absolutely loaded with like a ton of different options. So very similar in my eyes to last week. But the main thing for sure is that these running back plays look very, very solid, and kind of know where the ownership's going to go because those guys that absolutely went off last week are still way too cheap. Dodal, Rashad White, and then I guess you could even throw like Javonte Williams in the mix. I guess he's going to get all the work there. So it's a loaded running back position. Quarterback, it's tough to really dial in your stacks this week because just you look at some of these quarterbacks and it's not super appealing stuff. So that's definitely the hardest part for me, knowing what I want to do with my stacks today. So interested to get your guys' take, talk through it, and I'll be taking some notes today and adjusting some exposures as we go.
Yeah, you said something really clean there and then something really weird that I'm going to make fun of in a second. But the clean part definitely was the stacking when we get to it. It's kind of like that's where the unknowns are. And I'll talk more on that in a second. But I like the Rico Dodal call because maybe Rico Dodal got straight out the sauna and went over and started his Sunday. What do you think, Title? What's going on, man? How are you?
Good. I'd be better if I did hit the sauna earlier. Unfortunately, no time with that early London game. But yeah, doing great. Blessed. Another Sunday, free money Sunday. Never have a bad day when you wake up with football all day. So yeah, excited to talk.
Hoop got the money on the mind, the bread, the dough. Rico Dodal. That's the guy that's going to take us to the top this week.
He's going to get us that dough. That's what it's all about, man. You can't call these dudes their real names. I mean, we made the switch on Danny Dimes early on. I think week 1 we said it's going to Danny Dollars. That worked out very well, and Mr. Dodal is going to take us to the bank when we stack that dough today.
And I think that's the thing. So you said it. I know not everybody feels this way this week, and that's why the ownership is heavy, but also spread out on like those 4 to 6 running backs. But everyone knows it's kind of that pile. They all could do enough and be in good shape for you. But I think the biggest thing is it's going to be Title, probably like that week our guy Sheets got set. I talk about this a lot now because those people are new to the show, haven't heard it, whatever. When he got second, he had really good bets at running back. Everything else set up accordingly, just top plays. And then his underdog bet, if you will, if you treat it like a parlay, was the Geno Smith stack. But if Geno did anything, you felt very good about the rest of your lineup. And that's what I think, to Hoop's point today, the stacks are not going to be as comfortable. Some of them got more expensive. Some of them are ugly quarterbacks that you're like, I don't know if I really want to go that route. But if you can get everything else you want and they make it work, well, some of them when you're inside your portfolio will go down the drain. It's like that's the whole point, is you still should have some that pop up because you put yourself in that position via that route. Do you feel that way when you're looking at some of these games in your grand scheme overview?
Yeah, and it kind of like touches on this. I mean, there's a lot of strong plays. You always talk about it. It's not who you play, it's how you play them. Like we saw last week's Millie Maker, pretty much a cash team with Igbuka. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily think it was the best Millie Maker team. I mean, you need so much to go right, but you can play chalk pieces. You should. Difference between single entry and MME, you can play even more chalk, make like 2 pivots, and that's enough. What Sheets did, he played a lot of chalk, then he played the lowest. Geno really low owned. Trey Tucker really low owned. You don't need, like, I think NFL is not a sport. If you have everyone in the single digits, you're doing it wrong. If you have that in baseball, sure. Hockey, sure. Basketball, completely wrong. Like, there's different sports that play different ways. Projections are pretty good in football. There's definitely some variance. But today, like Rico, White, Javante, Puka, like, there's very clear plays. You can play them. But when you play them, you should be getting different somewhere else. And I do think, like, quarterback's going to be super spread out today. I'm going to be spread out with it. I'm with Hoop. Like, I struggle to, like, really narrow it down, but I don't need to narrow it down. Like, I'll be playing the chalky plays. I'll mix in the lower stuff. My lineups will tell a story. So I totally agree. Very similar to that slate.
And I like that you brought up last week's lineup. Hoop, I'll bring it to you in just a second and we'll get started. But the other thing about last week's lineup, like Hoop, Nades and I review it every Monday. We did it on Takedown Breakdown. I said, like, it was built. It made a ton of sense. It correlated well. It's what you said. The lowest owned guy was 7%. What people don't realize, we never shit on that guy. He wins the money. He had the best lineup. What people are forgetting, though, is there's hundreds of lineups that are like 2v2 or very close to that build that didn't become that guy, that girl, whoever it was that won the Millie last week. It's like there's, because you were boxed into a corner, that lineup is just the one that made it out of the corner that they were boxed into. So you see it up top. And that's why, again, we're not shitting on it. It's saying that's the difference. If you really want to separate yourself, you're going to be looking to do that through different styles of builds, different players, different ownership groups, things like that you're setting up, and combinations, all the stuff that we talk about throughout the week. Hoop, any other grand scheme overview stuff from you before we kick off this first game of this 10-game slate?
No, I mean, just the winning lineup last week. It's like sometimes the best plays end up being the best plays. And that's what we saw last week. It was the pricing was soft. You could get all the really good plays in there, and all the values hit, and the high-end spends hit, like Puka and some of these other guys. So, like, when you have that combination, soft pricing, really good value plays that hit, and then the obvious top-end guys hit, like, you're going to have a chalky lineup that wins. Could it happen again this week? Yes. Is it likely to happen again this week? No, probably not. We'll see probably some more busts compared to what we saw last week. But to me, it's honestly a very similar slate, and it is nice because when you do go in and start building some teams and finding the stacks that you like, really just don't need to be worried about ownership like at all, because like, there's nothing that is going to be an obvious stack. Like, there's some spots that look better than others, but we are going to see it spread out quite a bit. I mean, the highest owned quarterback on the slate is likely like Trevor Lawrence at 5,100, just because he's cheap. But it's not going to be to a point where you have to avoid playing Trevor Lawrence. But yeah, in my eyes, it does shape up to be very similar to what we saw last week in terms of roster construction and things like that.
Yeah, we've got the stone up. I'm going to do just the first game just to show it off the difference. If you guys want to sign up for ShipIt Nation, the best time to do it is now. You've got code SHIP19. You see it on the screen. It's $19 for 5 days. You get all access. You can check out any plan that we've got that's monthly all access, but just showing it on the screen there now. It looks a little bit off. I'm just going to double check this.
I got 2 things when you're doing that, Tambo.
Yeah.
First, is it going to be National Tight End Day again? Obviously, it's not the actual day, but last week we were on the show. Josh Oliver got in real early. We got a 1% Nate Atkins that just got the first touchdown of the slate. And then second, weather really quick.
Yes.
A lot of people have been talking about that. So I have Kevin Ross stuff up. He has yellow-orange for the 2 games, Dallas, Carolina, and the Rams, Baltimore. Yellow-orange isn't bad. Like, he's mentioning some wind, some light showers, but it mainly sounds like field goal attempts, like maybe deep passes, he said, in the Baltimore game. But it's pretty much a marginal impact from what I'm seeing. And at the end of the day, Vegas bakes that in. Projections bake that in. Props bake that in. I wouldn't worry about that, stress about that too much.
Yeah, it's a good call out, and we'll go probably more into that certain games. I know for the Cowboys, Panthers, one's coming up next. People want to hear it for that one. This game a little bit as well. So it's kind of the first 2 games where people are most concerned, just to show people what the stone is. If you don't know, we talk about it a ton. We are biased for sure, but we do label it as the best tool in DFS. And shout out to our late brother, Degen75. This was brought over originally from him in the merger, and we've just carried this on. It's a legacy piece. We literally brought it to every single sport. You'll see the stone, huge college football day again yesterday after crushing last week. We have it in golf. We have Showdown. We've got it MLB with the playoffs. We got MMA. We've brought it over to NASCAR tomorrow. And then another big $28 to $16.50 in NHL streets last night as well. And NBA just around the corner. We brought on M. Bellman, $9.67. Our guy Matt, he's going to be jumping on to join Rio title the rest of the team this season for NBA. But just so you guys see it, we designate the games. So the first game is we have it as a Rams blowout. You can still get there in DFS. It highlights the plays, cash consideration, high upside, GPP. We are waiting on news with a guy like Tutu Atwell. We'll have inactives here shortly. And then you've got all different things that you could see, the optimal rates. Like look at Nakua. He's 29% to be optimal on this slate, even at $8,700 with this ownership. It's right there, clear option. You have a high upside option in Devontae Adams. So if we get to 400 likes, we'll bring it up for the later games. But for right now, if you want to sign up for SHIPIT Nation, go to the site, use code SHIP19. You just scroll down to join the nation. Tons of people finding success. We've had 4 Millie Maker winners, 100 plus 10,000 winners, and 1,000 plus $1,000 plus winners. So a lot of success over at the nation. Hoop, I'm going to start with you. Rams at the Ravens. I'll get us back here, and you can dive into that one to start us off.
Yeah, so let me pull it up here. Only there's 2 games with like some weather, but I mean, now that we don't have to play kickers, it's just less impactful. I mean, the only time you really need to worry about weather is literally like crazy winds or a ton of snow or a ton of rain coming in, and just simply not the case. So not going to impact anything for me in terms of looking at this game. The Rams side, I mean, Kyren Williams, great play, 6,300. I mean, the Ravens looked like, without Lamar and some of those defensive guys, one of the worst teams in the NFL last week, and could honestly look the same this week with Lamar being out. But Kyren Williams is in a good spot. They're favored by a touchdown, 6,300. A lot of guys in that range. I think he's totally fine. Puka is an absolute stud. Like any sort of game script, does not matter. Like he can get there, and usually it's early too. We talked about it on the cash show. It's like the first drive. It's like 4 for 45 for Puka on the first drive, and then if he scores a touchdown, kind of free rolling the rest of the game. So he's fine. Devontae Adams is a fine option. And that's honestly it in this game. I'm fine playing some Stafford if needed. I mean, quarterback, it's just, I don't know, nothing stands out. We don't have the spends. We don't have the stud guys on the slate. So it's kind of whatever. So in my 150, I'm sure I'll have some. But it's just tough with the Ravens. I mean, they looked awful. And, I talked about it last week, like kind of liking Derrick Henry a little bit. I just don't know if I can get there today on the slate. Like Zay Flowers preseason coming into the season, week 1 looked like he was going to have a massive year, but Lamar goes out. Now we have Cooper Rush. Just really bad planning, I guess, on the Ravens part. Like a lot of these teams do a very good job if they have a primary running quarterback, that the backup is also a running quarterback, so you don't have to change the dynamic of the team. Well, when you go from Lamar Jackson to Cooper Rush, you have to change the entire dynamic of the team. And we saw how that worked out last week. It didn't work out, and it probably won't work out again today. So it makes it tough for this game. But the Rams are going to score points, and usually it comes through 3 guys: Kyren, Puka, Devontae Adams. All have exposure to all of them.
Yeah, a couple notes here, and then I'll kick it to you, Title. First off, shout out to our man Junior, longtime supporter. Appreciate Junior. $150 to 8,200 in college football yesterday. Said that our college football content continues to be elite. So congrats to you. Love to see that. A lot of people congratulating him in the chat. I think this is an interesting spot, Title. Like I really thought if it was going to be a week for the Ravens, it was going to be last week. Even with the backup, I said it with you. Like they had nothing going. Hoop nailed it. It's the dynamic. The problem for teams usually when facing the Ravens is the cameraman is even getting shook by the Lamar and Henry stuff of who has the actual ball. They're not having a problem following Cooper Rush in this case. And so that's been a bit of a tricky here. The only thing I'll say, though, and this is why I love the stone and why I love breaking it down this way and being able to see it from this aspect, is I certainly think between weather, lineup construction, and people seeing it, I think Nakua will moonwalk back a little bit. And I think Williams is steaming. And that's for good reason. The spot is great. If you have the stone, you can see the rush defense report card. You can see the pass defense report card. The Rams do like to pass, but the Rams just want to win and score points. They're on the road. They're going to do everything they possibly can to just get the job done here. So I think it's going to be a lot of that. Alex talked about it yesterday. It's crazy risky and like a 150 type thing. But if you played like Blake Corum and the Rams D in your large field stuff, I actually think it's a possibility if this game goes the way others think it does. But there's just so many running back plays. But even with Williams, I think you got to look to get a little bit different. And I think one of the ways here with the Packers and the Steelers and the Colts all being great defenses is the $3,500 Rams paired up with Williams. What are you thinking about this game and how you're handling some of the ownership on these guys?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm playing a Puka. I want a lot of Puka. The dude's just too good. I'm looking at the Stone. I mean, these Ravens, we talked about it last week. They just get dog walked up and down the field. This defense is atrocious. Now they're taking on an offense that's very concentrated. It's very good. They're going to put up a lot of points. They're implied for one of the most points on the slate. Puka's by far my favorite. I'm going to keep playing him. I do think playing Kyron, playing the Rams defense, like Landa said, we've seen it a couple times. JT Colts, Mason Vikings. Rams defense will be low. I hope you're right with Kyron getting steam and Puka moonwalking back a bit. Puka's probably one of the best plays on the slate every single week. No changes here. You definitely don't need to run it back either. Like I like Stafford. I like Devontae quite a bit too. I mean, he's going to be, 5%, 6%. His expected fantasy points have been great. The downfield, one play, 60-yard touchdown is always there. Stafford double is very much in play. It's really hard on the Ravens side. Like they already said, like Zay Flowers, like his snaps will be like monitored or stuff. Derrick Henry, maybe, I don't know, but if the game gets out of hand, it's Justice Hill. It's just random stuff that way. And there's a lot of opportunity cost at running back. So I'm going to throw it back to you on when you play Stafford, because you got the Stafford thing right. Can you just play Puka? Do you need Devontae Puka? How do you feel about Kyron with that? I'm interested in your takes on that.
Yeah, I think it's more with Devontae, but yesterday, and I usually don't get sold on very much. I'm usually the one trying to do the selling, as Hoop knows quite well. But the Adams, I guess the Adams one-off, just because it's only $400 more than Williams. It's like, to me, I'm not even treating it as much as like the Puka thing. Just to circle back on that too, and then I'll answer your full question. But I don't think he completely moonwalks. I should argue. I definitely think Williams steams. Like I'm talking like now he could get to like 30 in single entry and stuff. Like I can definitely see that happening, not in the main stuff, but maybe 25 in the main stuff. I think he's still number 4 behind the other 3 that we'll talk about soon. But I'll say with Nakua, I at least think he gets held in check. I think it could have got out of hand quickly. And now I don't know if it is as much, and things are starting to pop up. We'll get the Quentin Johnston news soon, which it sounds like overnight he's not going to be in. People thought he was going to play. So that opens up different builds and things like that. So anyways, to go back to your point, I definitely like double stacking Stafford, but there's a lot of single stacking happening this week in general, right? We're going to get to it, but if it's Dak Pickens, if it's Young Tet, if it's Jones Pittman, like a lot of it, if it's Love Kraft, like people are wanting just to do that and shut it down this week and then fill it out with chalk because what just won last week? Similar style thing, right? Like, oh, you can just do it that way. So I think there's some power to overstacking it. And if the Rams are going to put up 26, 27 plus points, and like Hoop said, they keep it very condensed, I would have no problem going like Stafford, Williams. That's another way to get different. Nakua, you'll have to find value elsewhere, though, if it's Nakua going in there. So you might want to try and split it with Williams and Adams and then use Nakua at a bunch of other places to make sure you've got exposure to him.
Yeah, makes sense. The Ram side, I don't think, like I listened to a little piece of you, Squirrel and Mayo, but like one of you mentioned like just play at least one, or you could play one Ram in every lineup and feel fine with it. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily make that rule, but if you're playing 10 teams or something like that, I don't hate it one bit. I mean, this Ravens defense is that bad and it's so concentrated. It's hard to see no Rams getting there.
Yeah, agreed. Hoop, I'm going to kick it to you this next game. It is the Cowboys at the Panthers. Your boy Rico Dowdle is in there. Rico Doe, get that money. And yeah, you got Tet, you've got Bryce Young, you've got what do we have overnight too? Oh, Jalen Coker practiced all week, but still not going to come off the IR. So that a lot of people are looking forward, as Mayo calls them. Speaking of Mayo, the Cokeheads, they are not going to get to play Jalen Coker this week. So you got the Panthers at home. They are still an underdog, and you've got Javonte with ownership and Dowdle in the revenge game with ownership. And then after that, it's kind of tricky to see how it all plays out. Looks like tight ends are being more kept in check, but Ferguson will still have a healthy share of ownership there. What do you got with this one?
Yeah, I missed the opening. No, I didn't miss the opening, but I wasn't focused in on title. Did we get the finger to
I
start
knew you were
things
going to
off?
say
I
something.
was waiting
Ash,
for it too. I had it ready and I
did.
skipped it.
Yeah, I did
That's
see it
all I
getting a
gotta
little.
say. I give
Yeah,
up on that freaking camera. I don't know what's going on. I've used it 5 years, whatever. I buy a new one and then I put a new one on and it just tweaks out. So
yeah. Well, I thought last session you were getting a little foggy. I was waiting for that finger to kind of poke in there, but it's a staple of the show, so we got to get it at some point. Cowboys, Panthers. I'm just going to continue to play these Cowboys games. I mean, I've done it obviously for a couple years now, and they've gotten the job. Even last week, it looked like it was going to potentially bust, and then Justin Fields gets there, Garrett Wilson gets there, Breece Hall gets there. Every part of the game essentially gets there. Pickens. The total in this one sitting at 49, and I love it. I love all sides of it. I like the quarterbacks, I like the running backs, the pass catchers, and obviously Jake Ferguson. I'm going to continue to play him. I mean, he's got to be tight end 1 this year, right? When you just look at the total fantasy points, I mean, he's been an absolute stud. PPR, touchdown, everything you would want from a tight end. I think a lot of people go cheap at tight end today. So Ferguson, I think, is a really solid play. In on the Dak stuff, I'm in on the Bryce Young stuff. Clear pairings when you go to play those guys. With Dak, Pickens, you can play Tolbert, you can play this Flournoy guy if you want. I got Tet on the Panther side. That's probably it in terms of pass catchers, but I think he is a really, really good play. We got our guy that's going to bring us all the dough, Rico, bring us the dough.
Rico, you got it all.
Yeah.
You're even rhyming it up now, man.
Yeah, so it's like he's one of these guys, though, there's a group of them, and you touched on Kyron Williams. They're all going to be in that range, somewhere between, I don't know, probably 20 to 30%. Javonte, Rico, Rashad White, Kyron Williams. They're all priced similarly. They're probably going to have similar ownership. But both these guys, I think, are in the conversation to be great values. And no Miles Sanders, that's not huge, but Javonte Williams was getting all the work and going to continue to get all the work. Pickens, McMillan, Tolbert, like there's so many options in this game. I think a great game stack, potentially even an overstack. These Dallas games, I mean, I think they've gotten there every single week. Like every single week from a fantasy perspective, Dallas and the opposite side has got there. Maybe there's been one bust, I don't know for sure, but like almost every single week they've gotten there, and I'm going to continue to play them at a high clip.
Yeah, the report card, the first F, I believe that we've seen, and there's F in the first game too, but it's not for rush or pass, and this one has an F in it. So on the stone I'm looking at now, that's where I think people are picking that up. Title, what do you got with this one?
Yeah, I mean, you go from the Ravens to the Cowboys, 2 of the worst defenses in the league. I have interest. Bryce Young's one of my favorite quarterbacks on the slate. I could definitely eat those words later. We play a salary-based game, though. He has a clear target or pairing with Tet. You can easily play Rico with him as well. Rico can catch passes out of the backfield. He showed that. If you wanted leverage off of Rico, you can do the Bryce Young Tet. I would probably just leg it. Like, I think that's a million maker type play. Like if you're playing like single entry, 500 people, I'm not sure you have to get that off the board with it. He's definitely fine in large field tournaments though, pairing with Bryce. And then the other side's great. You have Javonte, who looks really good. Jake Ferguson's been tight end 1. Pickens, what people don't want to play Pickens this week. He showed he always has upside, but 55-yard bomb or something last week kind of salvaged his day, but always upside there. Ryan Flournoy, people like the value on this slate isn't too great outside of tight end. He had 11 targets last week. Seems to be wide receiver 2 over Tolbert. It's pretty close, but 3,600. The targets were great. Ownership's in check. There's so many ways to play this game. There is ownership, of course, but Flournoy gets you a little different. Overstacking gets you a little different. I hope people are worried about the weather. I'm not worried about it at all. Really bad defense on the Cowboys. Not a great defense for the Panthers. Sign me up for this game a lot.
Yeah, one thing I saw too overnight was the Diggs and Bland both going to be on the field. So does that worry you at all? Like get those guys get back in there and have them both?
Diggs has his moments, but he takes so many chances. Like he gives up some big plays because he tries to make the play. So I don't worry about that too much. It's not a Surtain or a Christian Gonzalez or stuff like that.
Yeah, one thing I like about this game is both teams like to pass. Again, we've got the run pass on the stone. That can pick up the speed of the game. And also usually with these Cowboy games, like both you guys talked about with these Cowboys games, they've been involved. There's been tons of DFS love within them that works out, but usually they're being overstacked or like heavily. But even when people are talking about Bryce Young, it's like Bryce, Tet, done. Like, or Bryce, Tet, Ferguson. Like, again, I'm telling you, because of the way last week worked, where it was just like Fields, Hall, and the other side, or people were like, oh, even with Darnold, I only needed Darnold, JSN, and the other side. That's it. Like, that's what people are seeing. As soon as you go from Bryce, Tet, and add in Leggett, or you add in Renfro, or you go over to the other side and you have Dak, Pickens, Ferguson with Tet or Dowdle, or you add in Javonte, whatever, that's where you're completely different already. And people are like, oh, the chalk game got there. It's like none of that was really chalk together. So I think just what used to be a normal stack feels like almost like an overstack when we're talking about it this week, where everybody just wants to shut it down after one guy. And I think luckily there's optimizers out there that will help you avoid that automatically, like our partnership with SaberSim, where you blend our stuff, bring it over, and then you can get to that. But it is something I'm noticing, and I think there's still a ton of ways to get different within this game. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, definitely not new. Tambo can talk in length about that. His pockets are a little deeper thanks to Ham last year.
Yeah, that's for sure. The FanDuel slate plan is phenomenal because Ham does not play he plays the best plays, but he also plays a ton of contrarian options, and he makes it really easy to understand where you're like, okay, I see what he's trying to do here. He always makes fun of himself. He says, I just have no clue how to build lineups, but I come up with a great slate plan, and then I've put it together a couple times for over 100K, and I love that. But actually, there's a sneaky insider piece to that coming soon. We'll save it for next week, but we separated it. What he's talking about is now on the site. You see slate plan drop down. There's DraftKings with mine, FanDuel with Ham's. Maybe something more is coming. So we'll save that as a little nugget there for everybody. But let's move on to this next game title. I'll go to you. It's Cardinals at the Colts. Again, nice little tag here on the stone. Thinking about this game a little bit. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's more so one-off pieces. I'll let you guys talk about dollars. You guys have been on them. Like JT, his role is just unmatched. Well, him and McCaffrey, it's unmatched this year. And with just how strong running back is, he's definitely going to be owned. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's almost a lot of people will be going 3 running backs. I think that's definitely the most optimal way to build. But JT is, one of the best touchdown props on the slate. Nothing bad to say about him. Tyler Warren, he should be somewhat in check. Ownership's good on it like this week. 10-game slate. It's pretty spread out. So Warren has had a great role. Again, anytime a tight end gets 2 consecutive rushing attempts at the 3-yard line like he did 2 weeks ago, that just shows I have interest. They want to get him the ball in crucial situations. McBride, Pittman. I'll let you guys talk about what Brissett does to these pass catchers. I don't love the game, to be honest. I prefer more one-offs. And I prefer more one-offs on the Colts side, JT, Warren, Pittman. But yeah, I'm curious to hear your guys' takes on Dines and then what Brissett does to these pass catchers.
I definitely like the dollar side a lot more, Hoop. What about you, and what are you thinking on this game with the Cardinals side and run back, anything along the lines with this game you've got?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult at first glance. It's like, all right, like Kyler Murray absolutely sucks, and I stand by that. He's a terrible quarterback, one of these quarterbacks that will never win in the NFL. And actually, it really hasn't even been that good for fantasy either. So like he becomes like totally irrelevant. So initially I'm like, all right, I want some Brissett, but then it's like, and some.
Then you saw the line movement, 6.5 to 9.5. They think Kyler's 3 points better than Brissett.
Yeah, it's not good. And there's some really good spots like McBride, I think, is still fine. Marvin Harrison's still fine, but it's like they don't have James Conner either. Like this is like a depleted offense, and you have the hottest / most surprising, I'd say, team in the NFL, and the Colts, who look absolutely like legitimate, and they steamrolled teams this year. Like this could just be a absolute steamroll from the Colts here today, and that's what it's kind of looking like. So after going through things and thinking about it, like I don't anticipate bumping up any of these pass catchers. I'll play McBride. I'll play some Marvin Harrison, maybe a little bit. But Colts D looks phenomenal. I don't even know what the price is. I have no idea. But
33.
Yeah, that's like great spot. I think Colts D at home, this depleted offense. Jonathan Taylor with Colts D looks elite in tournaments. Daniel Jones, though, I will have some. I mean, they're projected to score 28. I mean, they're projected to score four touchdowns. Daniel Jones could run into and throw for the other two. It's possible. They could score a ton. I mean, they kept it going last week too. Like they pounded Vegas. So they want to put up points. So I am interested in him, Pittman, Warren. And 28 is that the highest on the slate in terms of team total? Looks like it is. Like this
Packers
29.5. Yeah, it's a tough team to figure out, obviously. We'll talk about it when we get there. But yeah, I'm going to load up on all aspects of the Colts offense and their defense, and really not much Arizona. I mean, this could definitely just be another steamroll for the Colts.
Yeah, I think this actually could be the first one that I've really thought about hard this season to just run the full onslaught, like Jones, Taylor, Pittman, Warren, Colts, and literally just say Colts score 40 here and see what happens. Like you said, they have nothing. They really have nothing going on the other side. The good news is you don't even have to pick it. Like people are going to try and pick between it. And I'm sure in spots, I don't mind a Harrison Pittman or something like that. Speaking of our boy Ham over on FanDuel, I know that's a combo pack he likes where you wouldn't even have to get the quarterbacks right necessarily because you could have other stacks around it. They're very affordable. So that would work. But instead of trying to pick that, say maybe one of Marv and Trey McBride does enough to keep it going. But I really just think the Colts are going to do enough in 3 quarters anyway. And I just think it's going to be a great spot here. So I like the Colts quite a bit. Title, I love always the prop calls and the line movement and all of that. It's like you said, if Hoop thinks Kyler Murray sucks, and most of us tend to agree, they're saying he's 3 points worse. And maybe that's
a lot.
The point is, if that guy's bad, this guy got to be very bad, and then they have nothing else to go with it.
For sure. One other point, FanDuel and DK pricing on McBride's pretty different. FanDuel, he will be more popular. He is the 4th highest priced tight end, 6,400, whereas Ferg, 7K, Warren, 6.8. Then you go to DK, he's the highest priced at 5.5. Ferg's 200 cheaper, Warren 600 cheaper. So just know about ownership that way. And then if you are fully overstacking at Tambo, are you going to play a Cardinal on the way back? Because I feel like Brissett's going to drop back 40 times and just PPR wise that way you can get there. Or are you just hoping it's randoms?
I'll have a mix.
That you don't need?
The first part I was talking about is the full on 5 Colts, including the defense, no Arizona.
No Arizona.
But I would also go with Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Pittman, Warren, and use Harrison or something like that, and just run a 4-1 and do it that way too, and just hope that one piece keeps you in the game. But I just worry about Michael Carter sneaking it on the goal line, or is it Michael Wilson or Dortch that catches one or something and just screws up your whole thing. I can just hammer these Colts and say I know that they're getting there. Don't have to figure it out. But obviously in a mix and within my portfolio, I'll definitely have.
Then it's Alec Pierce for 70 yards.
That happens too. It definitely can happen. He's a guy, and you'll see. We talked about this the other day. Is he's a much riskier play, but at 4,400 too.
He's a Trey Tucker. In Cheetah's thing, it's I wouldn't play it in single entry, but with 144,000, we've seen Alec Pierce get there on 2 catches. He could have 102.
Yeah, I liked your call out too, by the way, on the tight ends. On DraftKings, McBride more than Warren. On FanDuel, Warren more than McBride. Again, interesting thing about tight end today, Ferguson, McBride, Warren, all in that, currently at least in that 12 to 15% range. Nobody's really committing to any. The Warren thing always baffles me though. The great play last week, this guy's getting goal line carries. We got to jam him in every lineup. This week, don't even want him. He doesn't have that possibility again. It's just 1 week removed. Nope, he sucks now. Keep him steady at 14%. We don't need much more of him. It's just the way people just turn on somebody so quickly. So, all right, let's move on, Hoop. Let's go to the Seahawks at the Jags. It was a Darnold JSN stack last week getting the job done, and multiple other pieces within that game were able to get there, but not many people on AJ Barner last week. But what are you thinking? What are you thinking for this one? Seahawks at the Jags. Jags D has actually been surprisingly good for the what do you always say with the kickers on Showdown, the game log watchers? Have a look at the Jags. They've got at least 1 INT every game. Very solid points across the board. Nobody really on them this week at all.
Yeah, I mean, solid total in this game. I mean, sitting right around 48, and no one's going to probably play the Jags defense. They have gotten it done, but they have had some, I guess, softer type matchups early on, but they've gotten the job done. This is a good game, I think, but the problem is it's going to be played the same, and I don't really see any other ways to get around if you're playing this game. If you're playing the Seattle side, it's going to be Darnold and JSN, and you probably don't want anything else. Like, I just don't see any other way to play it. If you're looking for a run back on the other side, it's probably Brian Thomas or Hunter Long at 2,500. No, who's their tight end that's out? What's his name? Drawing a blank. Strange. No Strange. Yeah, no Strange. So he's out. Long 2,500. On the Jaguar side, like Trevor Lawrence is going to be popular-ish because he's only 5,100. Not to a point where you have to avoid him. Brian Thomas still has not gotten the job done. His ownership should be in check. It's probably my favorite way to play this game is to get some Brian Thomas exposure, just continue on. I think we talked about it last week. Like, if you've been playing him, like, you got to just, stay the course. If you haven't been playing him, maybe you don't, but he's at his cheapest rate, cheapest price. Targets are still there. I think he's a fine option. And ownership should not be any concern with him just because he hasn't done anything this year. We are showing 8%. I think that's probably pretty accurate. So yeah, I'm in on this stuff, but it's honestly tough to get different. Like, if you're playing Lawrence and Brian Thomas or Lawrence and Long or playing all that together, like, the run back is obviously JSN. Like, it's clearly JSN. These running backs are tough to play with all the value that we have, like Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet sharing, ETN. Like, I just don't think you can play these running backs. So I like this stuff, but everyone's going to play it the same way, and I just really don't see any way around it.
Yeah, I will say one thing, Title, when I kick it to you, I was on Leverage Lane yesterday. I told everybody there, so I definitely love the Lawrence stuff. But like this, I know even some members last week learned this the hard way. It won't always work out this way, but it definitely is a thing. Like, I know there was teams last week where people had Darnold, JSN, and then used Cade Otton on the other side. And it was like, well, Cade Otton is probably not pushing this game like an Egbuka is. So like, yes. And there was other, like, you had Dowdle at 4,300. Like, you could figure it out at a different position. Pricing is different this week. Obviously, that's one of the things as the season goes on. While we do get more information, that information allows for tighter pricing, a little bit more than like week one when everything's an all-star team. You got to pick and choose your spots. But I definitely think I like Hunter Long a lot more on the Lawrence side. I want him to complete that stack. And even if Lawrence and Long, which I think they are, steaming a little bit, especially in single entry stuff or higher dollar, I get that. It's to Hoop's point, no matter what, I think Brian Thomas Jr., I think Travis Hunter, I think some of the other stuff is being kept in check. And even if JSN is steamed, he should be. He's the guy to me that is like 7,600 versus Puka went to 87. You could say what you want about the difference, but to me, I still think JSN is having a fine season. Darnold's unleashing him. It's working out. So if you want to play him as a way to get different, you could go back to the Sam Darnold side. You could go Darnold, JSN, Cup, and run it back with Brian Thomas Jr., but I would prefer that, or Travis Hunter, or Diamond, somebody that's going to push the game versus Hunter Long might catch 8 balls and whatever, and it still counts for points, but we kind of want to unleash him if he has a big game with Lawrence, and just in my opinion, at least. What's your thoughts on this game?
I think that's very sharp. I agree. When I'm playing Darnold stuff and double stacking it that way, I definitely prefer a Brian Thomas or a Travis Hunter. I do prefer Thomas over Hunter, but like people that actually will push it. I mean, is Hunter Long really going to get you a 60-yard touchdown or whatever like Egbuka was doing? I don't really see it much. So 100% agree with that. This is what I've been struggling with. Like my process, everything I'm running. Like I really like Darnold stuff. JSN, a mini Puka, like this dude's target share, and he's always open. Sign me up for a lot of JSN. I'm getting a lot of Cup. Darnold doubles. Man, it's so tough for me though. Cup's been, I'm not going to say bad, but just a clear back seat from JSN on a team that wants to run the ball a good amount. But if you're looking at the stone, this is a clear pass funnel on both sides. So if we do get more dropbacks, and shout out to Sam Darnold, been one of the best quarterbacks so far this year. I don't know, Minnesota fans, I'm curious to hear how you feel about that. Like McCarthy's been so bad. Darnold obviously had a bad last game, but he's been great so far for him. I like Darnold doubles. JSN's great. I'm going to be playing Cooper Kupp. I don't feel great about it, but 9 targets last week was promising. The other side, yeah, Lawrence, Brian Thomas, good with it. Hunter Long, when I play Lawrence, Hunter Long fits a lot of stuff at very cheap price tag. Hunter's fine. Like without Brenton Strange, I do expect Hunter. His snaps went up last week as well. I expect him to continue going up. But man, there's a lot of opportunity cost at wide receiver too. On a 10-game slate, I probably more of like an early only play I prefer the Seattle side in this one. JSN, one of the most elite plays, one-offs. You can do whatever. He just continues to get the job done.
Yeah, he could just suck. It's possible. And I know some people are moving to him in different formats because he's cheap on both sites. But one, I don't care about the chalk on other sites because it's like ways to get different in a million spots. It's like someone doesn't do bad because they're 15% owned on DraftKings.com. They either play good or they don't. I'm building accordingly. And shout out to our guy, Kenny. But the second part is I just don't see the Brian Thomas Jr. steam or the Hunter stuff. Obviously in those builds, yes, but there's so many ways to get different. Also, I'm hoping they saved some of those Travis Hunter surprises and they didn't get to unleash them all. Maybe this is a week we see that. So I've actually got some association with Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter, double Hunter, Hunter squared, Hunter long getting in there with them. And then you use JSN on the other side. Our man Tom Brady is gray. Absolutely super sharp out there. He says ETN he was talking about can push the game when we talked about who can push it. Nobody's playing ETN. He's not popping the most on the stone, but I will say again, when we get to 400 likes, we can bring it up so you can see for yourself. It's not a good matchup, and he's still popping, but at lower ownership. So, I mean, if you want to have a guy there that you know has high upside, I definitely think it's possible. And my last thing I'll say, because I always tell you guys if I change my mind, I think Hoop and Title are phenomenal at doing this as well. They won't just stick guns blazing to one take. If you get information, you think of stuff differently, you should always own up and just come around on it. And I think I talked a lot of shit this week about the 2 tight end builds. And then what ended up happening is the Cooper Kupp situation is what led me to be like, man, in those builds, sure, I'm not saying I'm going away from him, but at 4,600, do I want to play Cooper Kupp or do I want to play Tucker Kraft for $100 more? And honestly, I probably want to play Tucker Kraft. I know we'll get there later, but I'm just like, man, I don't even care. Even outside of some of the correlation, and there is certain spots where I think there's a place for it, and I'll always own up when I come around to it. I said originally last week we had what felt like a National Tight End Day, and it still wasn't showing up anywhere because, and Alex made a good point yesterday, no one plays it, true, but even then there was just the running backs got there, so it kind of put a stop to that. But I think this week there is opportunity, and a guy like Kupp is what made me think of it. So, Hoop, I'll kick it to you on this next one, man. It is the Chargers at the Dolphins. And we don't have it. I don't think it came out yet. It'll probably come out very shortly, if not already. But overnight, that Quentin Johnston, who we kind of thought was going to play, I expected him to be in there. It sounds like he will not go today. So what's that do for you with the Herbert, McConkey, Allen stuff? And then what about on the Dolphin side of things?
Yeah, it does a lot for me. I mean, I was looking to find something I really like in terms of stack-wise on the slate, and Quentin Johnston out has pushed me to a lot of Charger stuff, obviously for a couple reasons. They're not going to be able to run the football. Like they just can't, even against shitty defenses. I mean, I think they announced they're starting Haskins, and they couldn't do it last week. They couldn't run it. So I think they're going to get back to a lot of quick passes with Herbert, maybe some running with Herbert. And I think he's elite. And I think now we have a clear path to, 2 pass catchers instead of 3. It's been tough this year. Quentin Johnston has emerged. Keenan Allen was big. McConkey kind of took a back seat. Like now it's going to be McConkey, Keenan Allen. I think they're both phenomenal plays on the slate. I think they're good with Herbert. So definitely like that side. And you have direct run backs on the other side. Achane, Waddle, who I like a lot. A cheap guy in Malik Washington. And apparently they're going to be using Darren Waller quite a bit. So this is a solid game for me. Just very clear what I want to do. The news came late enough in the week where I don't think we get big adjustments where people, are going to flock to Herbert. Yes, McConkey and Keenan Allen are going to go up a little bit, but if we had this earlier in the week, they're probably the highest owned guys on the slate. So it's pushed me to a lot of Charger stuff today on the passing side. And then, like I said, clear run backs. I don't want to play Tua, but like Achane, Waddle, Malik Washington, Darren Waller, really, really like this game overall now.
Yeah. One point was made here. It said,
sorry.
Been his guy. What's
Who?
that?
Go ahead, put yours up because.
Well, I was just gonna say this quick is that this is something that's interesting. I'll go more into it in a second. You can pull yours up. Go ahead.
I'll just say we're not even acknowledging this today. This is not even going to be an acknowledgement. These words will not come out of my mouth today. So.
Should go back to previously. I don't think this does a lot for anybody. I know maybe for some it does, but it's going to be Bam Knight starting for the Cardinals. What's that?
So just play the Colts defense. And
It should be Bam night. I mean, he was way better than Michael Carter. Michael Carter couldn't do anything last week, so it doesn't change anything. But they finally, Arizona, I believe, made the right move.
Yeah, I just saw something about that. Like his stuff last week was not great. So yeah, that's a note there. Also, I was going to say, so to Kenny's point there, one thing for certain in this, and the chat was talking about it too. I like Waddle in any format. I think he's great. He's fine. He's 6,100. You can just use him and move on. You talked about with Waller or whatever, but I actually like Achane, and he's a guy, like I said, I would talk through it from the Stone perspective. I put on my favorite new t-shirt with Stone Cold Steve Austin, talk about the Stone, keep it front and center. And I think Achane is one that we've seen this story before, Title, where it's somebody, we see it in the Stone. We don't even know if that's going to be the ownership. It could come back even further than that, which that would just make it even more leverage. And now there's an opportunity where I think, like, when you go the Herbert side, it did get easier. It condensed more. So you can go Herbert, McConkey, Allen, pick a side. I don't mind Achane as the guy to get this game sped up early, but then the Chargers come back and do their thing. So if you're playing this game, again, we talked at the very top of the show, some of these stacks won't be comfortable. There will be people that tell you that's not going to work out and they don't like it, but you're building accordingly. Hopefully. So if you are building it that way, that's a way that you could do it that would be a little bit different. And you could see guys like Waddle or Waller move this one the way they can get. Like, look at Waddle, or Waller, they can get touchdowns. So it's not like the Hunter Long thing, in my opinion, from earlier. These guys could push the game. What do you got with this one?
Yeah, I agree. Waller, I mean, he's definitely costed me plenty of cheese, the 2-game slate on Monday and all that. He looks good. He really looks good, and the snaps keep going up. I have nothing bad to say about him. Waddle, nothing bad to say. Wide receiver 1. Dolphins D's getting a little ownership. Achane's not at all. So that's one way if you are trying to play, and like some ownership, we have 9%. But when you do play a cheap defense, that's why they're getting owned. I don't mind pairing him with Achane. Great receiving prop, reception's always there. There's a lot of opportunity cost at running back, but Achane's a guy clearly that has 30-point upside. So I like that. Oh, I've been going back and forth. Like, I'm a little more worried than Hoop that these Chargers do get steam because it's so much more condensed and there's no running back that people want to play like Haskins. So when you play Herbert, it just feels like everyone will go the same way in Ladd and Keenan. I think when you go Herbert, I think Gadsden at tight end's pretty interesting. He clearly overtook Tyler Conklin as their like pass catcher. So I think he's a very interesting tight end. Like, when people go down low, they're going to go Hunter Long and stuff. I like Gadsden a little bit and stuff like that. Trey Harris, maybe a lot more large field stuff, but he's going to be wide receiver 3. I just don't think they're going to be able to run the football much. And Herbert's going to drop back a lot. So I do like it. I am a little worried about the steam. And maybe when I play the Herbert doubles and stuff, that's when I'm getting different. Like someone mentioned ETN. That's a way to get different in the chalky build. Like, you can play chalk stuff, just get different in other stuff. So what do you think on the ownership, large field, small field stuff with the Chargers with this Johnson news?
So Herbert, Keenan, and
Ladd.
Probably Ladd. Yeah, like Ladd, but I know because we have them so close and so do other places, but I actually think Keenan, I know it's $100. It's just a feeling I've got. So I think it's Herbert and Keenan steam the most. I think if it leads to anyone on the other side, it's still Waddle that goes with it. So just of note, again, where people stop, like I said, I think with Herbert, they will double, and that's where McConkey does come along a little, but I think it's Herbert, Keenan, Waddle becomes the steam. I think the best option here, and I was trying to look for like a direct 2v2, but I couldn't quite find it. But I will say for sure, like Achane and Dolphins D is definitely a great combo right now. But Achane on his own, completely different tier of running backs that nobody's getting to. Like, if you just want to play that, someone else did mention too, the West Coast team coming east early, missing running back, missing a guy that's been a big body for them that actually has been playing phenomenally well so far this season in QJ, assuming that's the case with the news overnight. So I don't know, Hoop, anything else? Yeah, I know you already went through it, but anything else based off all that to go to the next game?
The Chargers team, to what point though? Like, what ownership are you guys talking about?
Herbert 14, 15, which would be one of the highest quarterbacks in Ladd.
0% chance. Now, okay. Wide receivers?
Ladd 24, 23.
Oh, geez. Heck no.
On those, but I think he's not far off. I would say it's like 12 for Herbert, 10 to 12 for Herbert, but we thought he'd be under 10. And then I think you've got Keenan Allen going more to like 17 to 20 and McConkey like 15.
So that's what, yeah. I mean, and we always talk about your inputs are your outputs. Like, that's a big decision right there in small field and large field. Like, if you're playing like Kenny, who plays Thunderdome and 30-man, like it's harder to project there with Millie stuff. So
we doing shirts off bets like title the other day, bringing the crop top up for the people that put the Zeke picture of Zeke. It was so perfect.
The crop top. We can do the crop top bet. I don't know. I just don't think it gets all that high. I mean, the news broke so late, and I don't know. Like,
you think a lot of people build like Saturday morning and just don't even come back?
I think if a lot of people start building early, maybe Friday, Saturday, and they stay on a lot of their stuff. I think obviously the hardcore players are, not building their teams till much later, but I think a lot of people just get locked into what they're doing, and ownership doesn't get affected all that much. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I just don't think it gets all that high. I mean, I think Herbert probably 10-ish at the most, and then it's not, to me, it's just not changing much. He was probably going to be 7 or 8. Now he's maybe 10. The pass catchers like McConkey was probably going to be like 12. Now it's 15. Keenan was probably going to be 12, and now it's 15.
I think the main thing is that just in those Herbert builds, people were going to rotate 2 of the 3, but they were all going to eat into each other. Whereas now, like, that Herbert stuff just feels so condensed. That's why I think Gadsden's a better play than he initially was. But if you think it's still like no more than 10% and less than 20, I mean, I think they're probably some of the best plays on the slate. It's so condensed, and I don't think they're going to run the ball much. People are talking Haskins. He's plus 170 to score and 44 rushing yard prop. Like, on a slate with that many great running backs, I just think there's too much opportunity cost to go there.
I think if you're going to it, like Drea said, you can do it. Like, if you're playing a it does or it doesn't type of game here, I think that is the way to treat it, and just hope that they both get it rolling. And that's the way to get different than what everybody else is going to and having in their lineups.
I do like that call though. The Trey Harris, that's another way. Like, they're going to have a third wide receiver out there. I think he's fine to play.
Where is it?
I wish, man. If Parham was on the slate, I would 100. If he was still on this team, I should say. I mean, I'd be in.
And you got to love Gadsden. I mean, that's the same.
Yeah, I'm playing him. Yeah, I like it. I'm in on every aspect of the Chargers. They can't go down the path of trying to run the football. Like, it's not going to work. Like, they have to throw the ball here, and it's a good spot.
Yeah, let's look at this here. We've got the Steelers Browns up next. It's going to be Hoop up first on that one. Then we've got Patriots Saints. And then the 3 afternoon games, we've got almost 650 people watching, about 220 likes. So we got to get to 400 likes. Hopefully we can get there by the afternoon games, and then we'll pull up those last 3 games for you guys there. But we've got 2 games ahead. And maybe at the end, we'll do another thing too. We'll each pick our 2-touchdown guy. People have been loving this. So we'll each pick a 2-touchdown take, the triple T, just like ToeTagginTambo, the triple T, the 2-touchdown take at the end of the show. But Hoop, I'll kick this one to you. Browns at the Steelers. There is some survivor talk around this one in the streets. We're all contemplating these survivor pools, but the Browns, man, what are you doing on that side? I'm very interested to hear there. And then even on the Steelers side, is there anything for you with this game?
Definitely more interested in this one from a survivor perspective than a DFS perspective. There's no doubt about it. For DFS, Jaylen Warren, we talked about on the cash show a little bit about Jaylen Warren. I think he's a good play. I mean, probably you don't need him for cash, I don't think, today, but for tournaments, he's going to be probably way lower owned than all those guys. I mean, we talked about like 5, 6, maybe 7 running backs that are probably 20% or above. Like, there's no way he gets there. I think Jaylen Warren is a really good play. I mean, there's not going to be many spots where the Steelers are at home favored by like a touchdown, and he's clearly their main guy. So I think Jaylen Warren is a really, really strong option today. DK Metcalf, 5,500. It's just all him there. There's nothing else. I mean, so I like both those plays independently. Not playing Aaron Rodgers, not interested in run backs. I'll be fully fading the Browns, but I think Jaylen Warren is a really, really good play, and I think DK Metcalf is fine as well.
Oh, what a comment. I love Nate D, man. He's always in here supporting. Got to appreciate Nate. But he says, Browns shocked the world. Just kidding. Sad Browns fan here. Pulled pork sandwiches will be good, though.
That is good.
That's how I read it anyway, and that to me is just hilarious. So I love that. Aaron Smith makes a good point back on that previous game, and I know Dre had brought up about the Harbaugh-Haskins connection. Maybe they do just try and let him work. It doesn't mean it will, but I like the thought of that, just jamming him in. The chat's sad, Hoop. They're thinking, like, what about Judkins on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like we have, if you like him, play him. Like, to me, it's like we have Yeah, okay. Then I mean, if you want to. Like for me though, it's like just so many other running backs he has to beat. Like he has to beat some very, very good running backs because of where he's priced today, and they're projected to score 16 points. Like I'm most likely out. Like I don't even know. I built some teams, did my first run at teams. I'll tell you how much I have. Let me see. Junkins. I don't have any, and I'd probably just be fine letting that go. So
You might want to bump him a little.
Yeah, you're gonna have to convince me on that one. I have made a couple notes, but I don't know if I'm gonna be in on that one. I'll be honest.
The floor is yours, Title. Let's go.
I'm like 0 for 3. Like when did I do convince you? Travion. It hasn't been great, but 25, 25, and 20 touches his last 3 games. The snaps keep going up. He's plus 120 to score. Guess what his rushing prop is? Just yards.
65.
78.5. They want to run the football. They have Gabriel back there. I think he's going to get over 20 carries. No one's really playing him. There's so many other running backs, and I just think he's good at football. Like he has that big play upside. They're not that big of dogs. I think he gets over 20, maybe 25 touches again, plus 120 to score, can break the 100-yard rushing prop. Just a pivot at running back and chalkier stuff that I do think has the upside to score 25, 30 points. So him and DK Metcalf, by far my 2 favorite plays in this game, can skinny stack, can one-off. I mean, Rodgers, Cleveland's really, really hard to run on. DK will have plenty of air yards, I think, in this one to convert at low ownership. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I like that. Actually, that was a little bit convincing. And on the stone, it's not too bad either. It's not like the worst spot. And if you go, you don't have to do the secondary, but if you did, I mean, it's obviously fine when you have a guy like DK Metcalf at just $5,500. They both look good on the stone. And so I don't hate it if you want to get different within your lineups.
Yeah, I mean, it could.
In the previous spot, you had mentioned Travis Hunter, amazing pivot. I don't even think you have to pivot. I think you can just play them both and treat them as a combo. 4,700 and 2,500 together. It's definitely can happen. That's a way to get different with your Trevor Lawrence lineups as well. And then this is one people are really trying to figure out. Obviously, they get eat up. Currently, we got the DVP rankings now. We can see this. It's early, small sample still, and they just came out. But it is a spot that the Steelers allow it. Plus, you got Gabriel in there. I think last week, there was a bunch of targets across both these guys. It might have been like 15 targets between the two of them. They're 35 and 3,400. Very tough to figure out. But if you wanted to have something like that in your lineups and build a really strong all-around build, that might be the way to go about it. Anything else to add on this title?
No, that was the morning London game, so I wasn't able to watch much. I think Hoop was going to say something, though. Hoop, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing with Judkins is the fact like he's got to beat at least a couple of those dudes, and he might be fine today for sure. But it's like, man, I think it's another week where you got to put up a very big boy score. Maybe he has it in him. I mean, maybe he does.
That's what a lot when you play a guy like that.
Yeah.
When you play a guy like that, you want to think he has that in him, and I do think and I can't make that case for everyone. So that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Prop. I thought that was interesting. Yeah, the
78.5 is a lot.
Pretty solid, especially considering it's going into Pittsburgh, like everything. It's all baked in. But I'm just saying that I thought it would be lower for sure. I was more with Hoop in like the 65 range. So
they just don't. I mean, why would you want to go into Pittsburgh and drop back 35 plus times with Gabriel in his second start? Like, make it easy on him, run the football, open up play action. It all makes too much sense.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. I don't have anything else to add on that one. I'm a little bit sold on the Judkins take. I'm not on either quarterback. If I would play anything there, I liked Title secondary stack with DK, and then I like those tight ends a little bit. If you land on them, I'd be fine with it. So good there. We've got Patriots at the Saints. I'll stay with you, Title. Drake May. I guess my question with Drake May, to kick it to you first, is like that must be coming down a little bit based on our Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert stuff of what's steaming up, what goes up must come down somewhere else. And I think that's part of it. It's not going to be crazy, but I think this is where it pulls a little bit from, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I also think like the Stephon Diggs goes down a little bit with Ladd and Keenan right in that range too. I think Drake May to Diggs, just you only need those two. If you want Hunter Henry, fine. I prefer Diggs coming off the monster game, but I mean, Drake May has rushing upside. Anytime a quarterback can run 1 or 2 in, he has a clear pass catcher. I mean, that rapport with Diggs last week, I know the homecoming and stuff, but I like that a lot. And on the other side, I know I have a Olave problem. I'm going to keep playing him. Do I love it? I don't know. I mean, one of these times he might get in the box, and when he does get in the box, maybe have more than 7 yards or whatever it was. But yeah, I think Diggs and Drake May are pretty good.
Yeah, it's usually just the risk on Shaheed is there, but I mean, he still always projects pretty good. It's usually quarter the ownership of Olave. He speeds up the game, so it's I just think sometimes people don't like playing a $4,600 guy when the $5,100 safety net is right there. But Tom Radius Gray says just play Shaheed. Olave is a tomato can. I don't even know what that means, but pretty good.
Can't be good. I don't know either. Can't be good though.
It definitely can't be a compliment, I don't think.
Hoop, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in on this a little bit. Kind of both sides, to be honest with you. Like the Drake May stuff's pretty straightforward. Him, Diggs, Hunter Henry. Diggs coming off the big game, still cheap. Was he 5,800? Really cheap on FanDuel, 5,900. And he's just clearly the guy. And you got a young quarterback that's building this connection. So I'm really in on May to Diggs, and even Hunter Henry I think is fine. And then on the Saints side, like I don't mind Rattler. He's cheap. We talked about nothing really standing out. Like if I like Olave and I don't mind playing Shaheed, and Juwan Johnson is there, like I'm kind of in on the Rattler stuff a little bit. I think he's a fine option. Cheap quarterback, has direct pairings with him, easy run backs on the other side, should be pretty low owned. So yeah, I'm in on this one for sure, both sides.
Facts. A tomato can cannot play ball, and a team you can roll over. That's like a riddle. Like he solved it. Good job, Aaron. That's really nice. So we got it. Almost 300 likes. When we get to 400, we'll get to these afternoon games. We got 3 of them coming up. If you guys can get us to the 400, now's the time to do it so we can pull up the stone. You guys can see the report cards, the grades, the high upside plays, all that and more. If you want to just sign up, now is the time to do so. Use code SHIP19 at SHIPIT Nation. Any monthly all access gets you in on that and get all the sports. We got a bunch more going on this weekend. So on this spot, I will say my piece is just, this is the spot too. Like even Title said it, and I don't even disagree with it. I'm just saying, I know this is the thought. And I think, yes, they're both going to come down a little bit now with the other news, but people just say, I got Drake May, I got Diggs, I got Olave, I'm good. And they got enough. I think the booty rocking everywhere. This could be a spot for him. Someone just told me in the chat, it's a homecoming as well. So maybe that's a helpful piece, but I still think you can overstack it. I think if it's in a dome, if Drake May has a big game, it could be May, Diggs, Booty, Henry, Shaheed speeds it up on the other side. Like if this game actually goes off and you've just got May, Diggs in one spot, you may not get it all there, and there'll be a lot of teams around you. So we got the real clarification here from straight from the horse's mouth. The tomato can is over exaggerating Sum's ability.
Have either of you two ever heard of that?
I have not.
No.
I'm in Canada and we don't hear a lot of things, but yeah, that's definitely not it. I do want to check this because we've been waiting on this news. Actually, this is something Alex brought up yesterday that I thought was super interesting. And it's someone in the chat just said it, that this game could be sneaky also. Let's just say that, but let me just look this up. Limited in practice. We're going to monitor and see how he feels. I'm talking about Gonzalez. I'm trying to see if we actually got news. It didn't come up yet, though. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. So unless anybody else has, Gonzalez is out.
One of the best corners.
Oh,
right.
Really.
If he's out, though, the point Alex made, and I thought it was actually good, is like now we could get the free for all that we want because that actually gives Rattler a chance. And now if he has a chance, that can bring May to push it from the other side. And it's just a price game. 5,900, 5,800, 4,300, 3,800. These guys are cheap.
This game's going to be the winner, man. No, I'm in.
Like the other guys for the same.
This is going to be it. This is going to be it.
Tell us who's on the winner. I need to know.
Rattler. I'm telling you, today it's Rattler Day, boys.
It's
I like it now.
Hey,
I like it.
Yeah, there could be a spot. What are you going to stack them with? Just Olave, Shaheed, call it a day?
Yeah, sure.
If Rattler's on the winner, doesn't it feel like it has to be Shaheed? Or is it just a low-scoring slate?
I don't know. Like I
guess he can run one in.
The total's 47 on this game. Like you look at Patriots Saints, you'd assume like 42 or something. It's 47. Like that's up there on the slate. I mean, that's higher than
45.5 too.
Yeah, this is going to be.
I do worry about this stuff too. I mean,
that's 100% true. I mean, yeah, there is definitely concern with that. There's nothing more tilting than that idiot coming in and just stealing touchdowns and snaps. I did party with G Rising last night, so I mean, there are some lingering effects of that.
You might still be drunk for sure.
Yeah, it's that's what the chat's thinking. So I don't know. Interesting. I'm just gonna check one more thing too. I want to see our stack rankings for DraftKings.
It's up there.
I thought so. It's definitely up there. Oh man, Hoopster's all in. This is a spot, man. Oh, he rarely gets these wrong too.
I know. I agree.
The exposure. There was definitely a
random
meeting. We have an admin chat, and Hoop was possibly even partaking in the safety meeting yesterday, which we got to witness. He sends his annual video of that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
still drunk, still
the game is interesting.
still drunk, still chop, but maybe he sees the future. Maybe that's a good combo.
Got a clear vision now, boys. After a night with G Rising, you have a different perspective on things in life. All right.
Yeah.
Talk about that, man.
It's like one of those situations where it's like I figured that was going to happen, not in that fashion. I just didn't think they were going to win, and they didn't. So like I wasn't surprised. I guess
they handled two guys, Scooball and Kerry Carpenter. I mean, Kerry was seeing every ball, but he got on base every time, and they just couldn't do anything.
They have too many guys that can't hit. Like that's the thing. It's like you can't keep riding with these guys all the way through. Like I tweet out Parker Meadows, great defensive center fielder, but if you can't hit the fucking baseball, it doesn't matter how good you are defensively. Colt Keith can't hit the ball. Like you got to put someone else in. I don't think he made one pinch hit throughout the entire game, 15 innings. These guys clearly couldn't even. I mean, Meadows was drawn completely dead. Colt Keith drawn completely dead, and zero changes. Like doesn't even try anything.
Game.
It was an awesome game. I mean, it was awesome. But the bigger picture thing is, it's like obviously they're playing above their heads the first half of the season. Best record going to the All-Star. Make zero significant moves. So you're not serious about winning a World Series. If you're a good team, you have some deficiencies and you make zero significant moves, like this is what you get. So not surprised, but unfortunate ending.
Yeah. The stack rankings, the chat brought it up too. Definitely interested in the Rattler side of things. So this makes it somewhat interesting. The game, the total going up. The information on the defense, we'll get the Gonzalez news soon, I'm sure. Like obviously inactive's coming out here 25 minutes or so we'll see. But there's some definite possibility we see some back and forth in this one. It makes it somewhat interesting depending on what you like and how you want to stack the game. But if you go Rattler, Olave, Shaheed, do whatever you want really after that, I think, because you're already going to be pretty different in Shaheed and Rattler. So yeah, and you'll be able to afford a lot as well. I should note that. So certainly interesting. All right. The afternoon games are here. Title, I'll go to you first. We've got the Titans at the Raiders. I know you got some Raiders thoughts today, so I'll let you start with that one, and then we'll bring it over to Hoop after you.
I like both defenses. I mean, Geno's been the king of making mistakes, and Cam Ward can definitely make mistakes playing with guys that can't catch a bad O-line, et cetera. So that both stands out. Genty, I'm fine with it, but then I look. So he's 6,900. I hate to keep up bringing Judkins. I'm definitely going to be playing him. But Judkins for 1K cheaper has a 5-yard better rushing prop. Genty is minus 130 to score, where Judkins is plus 120. But like that 1K savings, like I just prefer him. I'm fine with Genty. Raiders D will get some ownership if you play them. You could easily play Genty, Raiders D, and just get by that way. I like it, but I just wanted to keep harping on, I guess, why I like Judkins so much. But Michael Mayer is fine. Another cheap tight end if you need it with no Brock Bowers. Other than that, I don't like this game much. Both defenses, Genty's fine, Mayer's fine.
Yeah, I do think it's like one of the ones I mentioned yesterday. It doesn't pop in our stack rankings or on the Stone, but I thought like when I looked at it, it's a way you can get different if you have like Geno, Trey Tucker, Meyer, for example. Like that is just so cheap for 3 guys. And if you even put Myers in there if you wanted to, but with no Bowers, all that stuff, you don't have to run it back. You can fit whatever you want after that point. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely something that, if you find the right lineup with it, it's one that just fits. And it's funny, it does match up with the Sheets thing because it's the exact same quarterback and stack, but it's everything else is like pure money. If it goes that way, you kind of just need this to happen. That's why I think the power of like taking all of the tools at SHIPIT Nation, putting them into Sabre, seeing what you get. I do this every week, knock off certain guys. I'm like, well, I don't really like the builds with them. I will say when I looked at the Geno builds, well, he doesn't fully pop. He's high upside for him. Tucker, guys like Meyer in consideration at 31 based on the pricing and the injury stuff. It does fit nicely. in some really unique builds that are super strong across the board if the Raiders can show up here, and I think they can. So Hoop, what's your take on this game with the Raiders at home, favorites over the Titans?
No, not too much. I mean, I like Genty. I think he's fine. I mean, again, it's one of those spots where the Raiders are not going to be favored at home in a significant manner. Many spots throughout the season, they're favored at home by 4.5, 5, depending on where you look. And the price is up there, and I think the ownership will get held in check because we have all those running back plays today, and we have some spends in Taylor and CMC, and then Rico and Rashad White and Javonte Williams and Kyron Williams. Just so many different options where I think he gets held in check, and his price is up there a little bit. I think he's a really good play. Myers and Mayer, fine. Tucker, fine. And I'm just not really playing the Titans here at all. So it's fine. I mean, definitely Genty would be my favorite. Maybe Mayer at tight end, cheap tight end. He's fine. I mean, they use him when Bowers is fully healthy. So now that Bowers is out, I mean, he should get a lot of attention. So 3,100, I think he's definitely the best cheap tight end option. So yeah, I'm fine with some of the stuff. Not over the moon about it though.
Yeah, that's the part of it too. I like Genty better, by the way. I just want to bring up the stack stuff. I agree. Aaron Smith's been pretty active today. Appreciate Aaron out there just bringing these things up. Like, this is part of it. And I agree with you, but they also still have like a 24-point team total. Like, the points, again, if you don't agree with that and you don't like that side of it, I think regardless of the Judkins props, which I'm still with title and I like that, but regardless of that, I'd still have consideration to get someone like Genty then, because you got to think they're getting those points from somewhere. And it's also interesting because Genty's a pretty good pivot. Again, if you got the stone, I could see his stuff moonwalking back a little bit. He's a pretty good pivot when you've got the other 4 guys that are right there around him and underneath it. So Hoop wrote it in. Usually it's title typing in there as SHIPIT Nation, and Hoop wrote it in for him like it's his own guy. You called him actually, Hoop. I thought it was more
slick.
You slipped up and you called him Junkins, like he's trash.
Junk, yeah, or that's the other options, or Buttkins, Buskins, Junkkins. Yeah, there's a few. That's going to be the result today. You did not, unfortunately, convince me. So
yeah, Gino, Myers, and Meyer, that is a law firm right there. If you put them all together, that's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know. And then it's not Halloween. We get this every year. It's funny. It's like the time Bowers always goes out as we get closer to Halloween. We get the Michael Myers stuff, but. I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. I think there's some interesting spots, not much on the Tennessee side, but I've heard some takes on Pollard. I've heard some takes on Ridley. If you land on those guys, I think it's got to be part of this game, doing something for it, at least, if not a secondary. So don't see much else.
That's better afternoon only. I mean, this is the first game in the afternoon window. We should talk about it, the 3, but I couldn't imagine. Now it's going to come back and bite me. I couldn't imagine playing a Titan on.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to say, too, this is another thing. Kevin, our guy, brought this up earlier, always in here supporting. Appreciate Kevin. Said real quick, if you focus on a morning AM team, and he's not, when I read it further, he's not talking about the early-only slate. He's saying if your team has a bunch of morning-only guys and you do an onslaught and play 7 of your 9 picks, are you already shooting yourself dead for that wave, or opposite if you stack all PM? No, because that's kind of the point here, is it's the most fantasy points win. There's definitely times when there's teams that just sit up top all day and then fade the afternoon. There's only 3 afternoon games on this slate. You could have 7 games bust in the morning, and those with all their afternoons player minutes remaining are saying like, wow, this is a pretty good spot. Or you could have vice versa, where it's like, damn, I got all these guys in these afternoon games and you needed the morning. It just went off.
Yeah, just don't build teams thinking about that, though. I know we talk about it a lot, and Title does a good job of talking about it, but that's more pivoting based on how your team has already performed, not building the team to have those potential pivots. So keep that in mind when thinking about this stuff. It's not saying, hey, build your team just in case this scenario plays out. No, you build the team, and then if this scenario plays out, act on it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's the key, right? That's for the late swap factor of it. Also, too, if you have a team that you really like and you see that it is AM only or PM only, I got no problem sometimes going to that. They run the same pricing where you can just jump over to the AM only slate and say, you know what, if you feel that way, play it on both. Play it just in AM only, whatever you want to do with it. But if you think it's going to score the most fantasy points and win the slate, I would want it on the classic slate where there's a lot more money available to first place. So I would do it that way. But second last game of the slate title, we've got the 49ers at the Bucks. Obviously, Baker, Igbuka, those guys coming off of a big week. Could we see it again here? And then what's your thoughts on this 49ers side? And CMC take is interesting as well, because he obviously shows ownership if people are paying up, but will they be enough? And maybe that number comes down a little too. We'll have to wait and see.
I could see it coming down a little. I think I prefer the spend up receivers more than McCaffrey. And again, we build portfolios, all that. But like if I had to choose one, just because there's more opportunity costs, like the middling running backs, the mid-tier running backs, I think are a little stronger. Nothing bad to say about CMC. The role is phenomenal. It's just he could score 27 today and not be needed because you only can play 3 running backs, and with the pricing. So I think I prefer Puka, JSN a little more. Bucks or outside of McCaffrey, Juwan Jennings, I am good with Juwan at 4.8. He's expected to play no Ricky, no Kittle, still Mac Jones. I mean, this team's super beat up, but yeah, Mac and Juwan had good chemistry. Clear wide receiver 1 stepping in for a good price. So those two I'm good with. I guess I don't even hate Tongs. I mean, his price getting up there a little at 3,700, but if you're playing this game, including him in the game stack, I think is what I would do if I am playing Other side, Rachaad White looks really strong. I mean, he can catch passes. He just seems like he always gets there, regardless. Good props, nothing bad to say. I'm going to keep playing Ibuka. We were on him last week. We just said good football player. The price continues to go up. I mean, I could argue it should be even higher at the end of the day. This team might no Mike Evans, no Godwin. They're just depleted. Ibuka's awesome. And then like Sterling Shepard, Tez Johnson. I actually like these guys. 3,800, 3,200. When you're going more stars and scrubs build, or like if you're playing McCaffrey, Buka, that stuff, you need savings. Just go right in this game. They're going to be on the field. Again, they're super beat up. Baker just makes plays. Like he'll get you the ball at the end of the day. So I think it's a pretty, maybe sneaky is not the right word because White's going to get ownership, McCaffrey, maybe a little Ibuka steam, but outside of C-Mac and White, it's really not getting much. And Shepard, Taz, Jawan, like I think it's a good game.
I got these last 2 games kind of similar in that the Bucks side overstack really can work here. You mentioned it. Like I actually think Shepard and Tez are viable. Otton with Baker goes well. We know about Ibuka. One way to differentiate with Rachaad White. So we've seen this in Millie Maker winners before with like Baker, the running back, and the tight end, and no wide receivers as well, because it's been a spot where that's just kind of like owning the end zone, if you will, when you get down there. But I think this game, and then when we get to Jordan Love in the next one, because there's, again, people with this will just go Baker, Ibuka, and probably stop. You can put one of Sterling or Tez in there. You can add in Ott, you can run it back on the other side. You'll expect Jennings to play, but if he doesn't, maybe you leave a couple $100 or the ability to swap into Bourne or whatever, or put Bourne. And if you like Jennings more and he's in, you could do it that way too. There's a lot of ways to build your lineups using this spot. Hoop, what are you thinking here with the Bucks at home against the 49ers?
Yeah, I like the Bucs side for sure. I mean, another team, they're projected to score 25 here. That's a legitimate number. They have some injuries, so we have some cheaper options. Ibuka is just an absolute stud. I mean, he's priced a tier below some of those other guys, but man, he can get there in a hurry. Like he can get there in just a variety of different ways. So, a lot of people like Baker's ownership this year has been lower than I think it should have in a lot of spots. And I think that'll be the case again today on a quarterback or on a slate where nothing truly stands out at quarterback, and we don't have the top end expensive studs because of injuries and the fact that they're on other slates. I think Baker is fine, and just so many different ways to play him. Obviously the common one will be Baker to Ibuka, but you can mix Rachaad White in there. He catches passes. You have cheap options in Sterling Shepard, Tez Johnson. On the other side, clear run back is McCaffrey. I think he's fine. Juwan Jennings if you want, but I really do like the Tampa Bay stuff. I don't think obviously Ibuka is going to get ownership. Rachaad White is, but when you start adding Baker into those teams, I think is how you can kind of get a little bit different. And you can play him with multiple guys. You can play him in stuff that looks a little weird, like Baker, Tez Johnson, and Rachaad White together. So a lot of different ways to play Baker. We have a slate where nothing truly stands out at quarterback. I think the Buck stuff is very interesting.
Yeah, and there's so much, like I said, when you add guys like Tez and things like that into it, it already makes it different. I want to ask you this title. Just I know you already went through it. Maybe you have more to add, but also both teams love to pass. We've seen that, but the pass defenses are okay for both, but not great. But what about Rachaad White props? What are they at right now?
Touchdown White is -125. You want the rushing prop or the receiving first?
Rushing, just to see, because I think there was already some talk in the chat about Rashad White versus Judkins. Mayo brought it up the other day. You could make the choice. You could play both, but I was more curious on that. You might have sold me a little more on Judkins for this slate, but hard to sell me over Rashad White.
59.5 is his rushing prop.
And receiving?
And receiving is... It's a lot harder on a laptop. I'll tell you that for free. 26
is titled Grounded. He's in his bedroom today, locked in.
20, I'm everywhere. Yeah, 26.5 receiving prop.
Interesting, man. He could be a lot more owned than Judkins in this spot. And it's like
he will. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. Yeah, I mean, I only 638. I mean, only we appreciate all 638. Like we aren't single-handedly raising the Judkins steam. I just hope he doesn't start steaming up because I think he's.
I don't think he can. And I think one of the most interesting things is if you're building, like a Baker lineup and you're already overstacking and it's getting slightly different, is you could just put White into it and get different that way, or you could put Judkins into it and be like, I'm doubling down on the leverage of the perfect pivot from White while playing the stack in a way that not everybody. Like, I actually think Baker will get up to maybe the top 4 quarterbacks, especially in the higher dollar, smaller field. Egbuka is kind of right there in the middle because 7,200 is no man's land. And some people don't think you could do it 2 weeks in a row or whatever, but he's the other guy that is interesting too. And I'll move on to the last game after this note, but we knew Puka's price would continue to rise. We knew JSN's price would continue to rise. People keep saying Tet is going to be 7,500. People keep saying Egbuka is going to be 8,000 soon. He's not. So why is he not getting to 35 and whatever? It's just the way builds go, the way the mid-tier running backs are. The Puka himself, Steam, like all that stuff that's there, not everybody can be owned. Hoop does a great job breaking this down. It's got to get spread out in some way, shape, or form. Just build accordingly with it. But if those were your takes, why wouldn't those make sense for your lineups? And I think that's where overstacking it or getting to more than just Baker and one is the way to go in this spot. I like it. And we've seen that win a lot more milli makers have been won by Baker Mayfield than Patrick Mahomes. I'll tell you that much, and give him another dig before we get to the Sunday night game. So why not? All right. Anything else there, Hoop? If not, you could take us into this final one. It is the Bengals at the Packers. We know Nade's already got his resident core in the chat with Jordan Love at the helm and of course the homer that he is, but it actually is a really good spot. So interested to hear your take on this one.
I mean, the Packers, it's the same, man. It's like a tough team for fantasy perspective to figure out just because so many different guys they're willing to throw the ball to. So, if you are playing Jordan Love, like who do you play him with? And for me, it's like you got to allocate a lot of ownership to him because I want, especially if you're building 150, because I want to pair him with all these guys. So it makes it difficult. Tucker Kraft is the clear guy to go to. I think he's fine. Tucker Kraft's priced in an interesting point where there's these cheap tight ends and then there's these, I guess, expensive tight ends. He's somewhere kind of in the middle, and I think he's in a really good spot. So definitely my favorite. Josh Jacobs, good play. You compare him with the Packers defense. And if I am playing Packers, I'm just not running anything back. Like if the Bengals show up and beat me in the spot, sweet. Like I can accept that. I won't be mad. Like if it's Chase or Higgins or Chase Brown or whoever it is, like I don't care. Like if they beat me on this slate, cool. Like would totally be fine with that. If I have 0 and they go off and I lose money today, like I'd accept that and move on to the Lions game tonight or to tomorrow's slate. So I'm not going to really be on the Bengals at all. I'll have Josh Jacobs, probably some Jordan Love, mostly with Tucker Kraft. And if I get some of these Packers pass catchers in my builds, I'd be fine with it.
What's the name of the man? I couldn't even find it quick enough. I hate when I can't. But Skyline Chili Hoop. We're at the end of the thing anyway, and someone said it was Aaron again. Said Cheesehead's eating all the non-Cincy chili tonight. Have you ever had it, Hoop? And what's your chili take?
Haven't had it. Fine with chili. Not like my favorite thing, but I'm cool with it. So no like hot take when it comes to chili. I guess we do have a few minutes. We could hit on a couple food things. We haven't brought that thing back.
Yeah, throw the food chat in there. We still got
no
time.
Steak stuff either. We've already covered the steak
fine.
stuff. We've beat the steak stuff to absolute death. So we get it. Like I like well done steak. Like that's not even fun. That's not even fun anymore. So anything besides the steak stuff.
What is this? What is the specialty about the Skyline chili? And I know, Ty, I'll let you roll, and I got some takes on this one too. We got 7 minutes, People are saying it's the goat. Nate says it's like spaghetti noodles, I think. But what is it?
I had it once. I don't know. They put on like dogs. It's fine. I guess I'm not the biggest chili person. It is what it is. I will say I was dying. You got buddied, Tambo. Maze wasn't having that one.
With a buddy. I was going to come back and say, listen, buddy, what are you saying, buddy? Like, this guy's got it. By the way, you were playing their ass on the night games too. Don't forget about those showdown slates. You just love that shit. So this is your spot, man. You like them? We'll play them. If Nate says play them, we play them. That's the spot. The chat did talk about it as people start to put these takes in for the food stuff. I'll say the love stuff. I said it on the show with Mayo the other day. You nailed it, Hoop. You got to just allocate enough to it, and I am, because you have to. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. Like, it's if you have Dobbs and Kraft, you feel good, but then it's Golden and Wicks. I think Golden, Wicks, Kraft, Dobbs, Jacobs, Love, and Packers D, all very good. You can treat it like the indie spot, Drea said earlier. Like, there's a ton of ways to go about this game and make it your own. But it's the onslaught is kind of the way to do it. I think playing the afternoon only slate, is a good way too. If you want to get after it and just stack this game up, again, people will be on it there, but will they overstack the shit out of it like that? I don't know. So it could be where you could get away with it even further. But what do you got, Title? Because the other interesting thing is the Jamar Chase illness, and then obviously was fine, going to play, didn't have any issues with that or expect to be an issue. But Flacco, 4K Flacco with Chase Higgins just to drag him along. The Browning stuff only needed one quarter last week, and it didn't get there. But imagine if he had to play 3 good quarters with those guys. It could have been a big day.
Yeah, I just don't know if this line will give the statue and Flacco any time. He came from a bad offensive line, but I mean, this O-line on the road, good Packers defense. Parsons will pin his ears back. I can't really get to any of that Cincy stuff. The Love stuff's tough. I do prefer it in the afternoon because I still think the pass catchers will be in check, because you're just, is it Golden? Is it Dobbs? Is it Kraft? Is it Wicks? Like, there's so many guys. Now, we always talk about books robbing touchdown props. How is Romeo Dobbs plus 150 to score today? Like, he has been wide receiver 1. The price is up there a little bit. So Kraft's obviously the pairing. I think Wicks is my second favorite just because he's 3,700 versus 5,200. But it's been clear. I mean, Romeo Dobbs has been their wide receiver 1, good blocker, on the field the most. Golden has that home run hitting ability. So there's a lot of ways to play Love, but that's always the problem with it. You can just go Jacobs, Packers defense. I mean, it could easily be Jacobs gets the ball 25 times, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then Flacco has to drop back a million times and they get it that way. That's honestly my favorite way to play this game. But yeah, Packers implied for the most points. I'm honestly hoping it just, like, everyone gets their own, but no one absolutely breaks the slate, because I just struggle to get too overweight on this spot, because you get overweight on this guy and it's going to be this guy, etc. So I hope the Packers don't break it.
I like the Jacobs call. Again, another guy I just don't think, he's up there a little bit in it, but again, it can't play everybody. We've been through this already. I also like this one for the Baker call, and the previous one where I said they're comparables, like the overstacking, but also I think you can play Love, Jacobs, Kraft, and then figure it out on the other side. And if you have Higgins on the other side or Chase, whatever you want to do, where Flacco leans on one of them. But the point would be just try and lock up the end zone. And yes, those guys will get to it and whatever, and they'll get catches and stuff, but just hope that when you get to the end zone, it ends up being one of those. And I already mentioned liking Kraft anyway earlier. Speaking of Kraft, that's a good way to round it out, Hoop. No one asked this yet. I'm going to bring it up. Did we talk about like the standard like Kraft dinner, like just mac and cheese that way? Like, obviously you can make some really good mac and cheeses, but what about just Kraft dinner straight up?
I love it, man. I think it's so good. So we actually eat it, I would say, probably like once a week, because with the kids' sports stuff, like, we're out the door, they get home from school, homework quick, and then we're out the door doing something. So you can make that in like 5 minutes. My daughter loves it. My son loves it. So yeah, I'm still on the Kraft mac and cheese for sure.
There's more components to it though. So are you a buttermilk, a little split on those? Do you add more cheese packet sauce? How do you make it?
Buttermilk, yeah, just some butter, some milk, and put the cheese packet in there and just let it roll. So
I think you need the extra cheese now, though. That's why they sell it separate, because they've been giving you less in the packet now.
For
it's
sure.
Cheesy.
Yeah, that is.
Who
good
said
point.
it's the best bang for your buck out there? It was a couple weeks ago. He's like, right?
Yeah.
It was about the mac and cheese.
Yeah. So I'm definitely in on that. There's some good.
Terrible if true. I like chili. I actually love chili, but I would not be wanting cinnamon in my.
No, man.
Up.
No, I don't know that whole thing. I'm sure it's good. It's just that's not like my sort of thing. I don't think it's titles either. You don't seem into that. You're a healthy eater. That's the thing that people got to understand. So a lot of these takes.
What about cornbread though? I got the takes. I'll bring them.
Well, you and I have the stomach issues. We got the diverticulitis, and you can't eat corn. So like, gotta be out on the corn. Unfortunately, I think this is a good one. Yeah. So I'm definitely a thin crust pizza. Like I love thin crust, unless I'm getting Buddy's pizza. You had Buddy's. Buddy's is good. Like, but more times than not, I'm definitely thin, man. Like, I just don't want all that breading and all that crap. So give me thin. Title's gonna say thin. He's got to be minus like massive amounts of money to say thin.
Probably prefer, but I mean, if there's pizza in front of me and I'm hungry, it don't matter what it is. Pizza's an elite food for sure.
Dude, you act like you're eating all this shit. You like drink like goat milk and shit for breakfast. Like you are the healthiest eater.
I have
of all
cheat
time.
meals on the week. Like there is
Okay.
cheat meals, especially if the wife's not around or not. I'm not cooking myself too much. But yeah, of course, yeah. What you put in yourself, you feel good.
Yes.
What about the spam? They said, but what was this one? Straight, curly, wedges, or tots? Where you at with this one?
Tots for sure. I love tater
Tots.
tots, man. Tots are definitely where it's at. Corn dogs, absolutely not. I think hot dogs are probably I know it's a little different, but I think hot dogs are probably the most disgusting food available. Like I hate hot dogs.
Corn dogs, yum. Corn dogs are nice. Little state fair corn dog.
I cannot do that. How do marshmallows? So I'm gonna go the opposite of the steak on this one. I like the steak burnt, like with the marshmallows. I just want them just a little melted. I don't want the darkness on the marshmallow.
There's the QJ news.
We got the QJ news. I was going to say we stayed on to the inactives portion, so we're getting some of the news. Someone tell me when we get the Gonzalez news, because I'm already ready to build that lineup as soon as we get off here. But what else? What's that?
Oh, I was gonna say after we do this, you mentioned the 2 touchdowns, so we got to hear that too.
Touchdown takes coming too for sure. Those that stick around always get the additionals. What's this? Our girl DGA, chili over angel hair with cheddar cheese is the cold weather special. What about the pasta takes? Hoop, what's that one?
Big pasta, yeah. I mean, I'm Italian, so like definitely big on the pasta. But I guess this will probably end up pretty controversial. I hate spaghetti. It's the only pasta I don't like is spaghetti. Like I don't like red sauce. So anything red sauce, I'm immediately out on. I've never really liked it, but then now a little older, get like the heartburn and all that stuff. So I'm out on red sauce. So I hate spaghetti, but love probably all other forms of pasta.
What about white wine, red wine?
To drink?
Yeah.
Red, yeah.
Yeah, red out on red sauce and on red wine. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big red wine. It does suck though, because Mrs. Hoop is a white winer, so it's like she likes white, I like red. So if we go to dinner, I want the deal. I want the whole bottle of wine. I don't want to pay the
grab 2 bottles.
We each get our own bottle.
That's how it usually works out. Yeah, that's how it usually works out for sure.
Yeah. What about cheese curds? Do you like those?
Yeah, I'm in on like anything, probably just about anything cheese related. I'm in on like blue cheese. Like I love all cheese.
I like this too, by the way. I'm a much bigger fan of white cheddar, and also from the pasta takes, cacio e pepe. It's like sounds so fancy, but it's actually kind of basic. But it's definitely a good way. It's a super good like home cooked way to do it, and that's easy to make.
What about a pasty hoop? That's a Michigan thing. Are you too far south? You don't even.
Yeah, we're down too much. I know it is popular, but I'm not big into it.
You gotta go a couple hours north. We're in a different life.
Yes, they definitely are, man. It is like a different world.
So good. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with this for sure. The pigs in the blanket. I do actually like pigs in the blanket. I don't like full on hot dogs. The little mini things I can handle. I don't like the big dogs. I like the little dogs are fine.
You did the thin thick earlier. Do you like the smash burger or the thick patty?
Smash for sure. I like smash. I like definitely thin because obviously it's a little more cooked. And you guys know I like the meat cooked some more. So give me the thin for sure.
I guess Hoop does not like tomato cans, just like our boy Tom Brady earlier. That's
yes, good. Out on the tomato cans for sure. Walking tacos. Sorry, I just wanted to hit that. Very good, man. I love the walking tacos. Are elite.
What is walking about them?
Well, they just open like a bag of chips. Usually it's like Fritos. They put the meat in
We
there.
call it
So
tacos in the bag because that's
yeah. So they call them walking tacos here. So you get it in the bag, you walk around and eat it, I guess. But yeah,
That's
very
so
good.
weird. Canada's so close and like the complete different names. I've never heard what he just said, but that's funny.
What do you call it?
Keep it simple. We keep it simple. Like walking tacos. What does that mean? Well, you can walk around, and I guess it makes sense. But
Tacos in a bag. That's literally what it is. That's
all right. What else? Canes or Popeyes?
Canes, man. They just got one around here. I love Canes. The kids love it too. I mean, it's probably my kids' favorite spot right now, Raising Canes. Like if they could go anywhere for lunch, I said, all right, we're packing up the bus. We're going to eat lunch somewhere. They would pick Raising Canes.
Boo. He's in. Your boy Radler is getting crushed now, Hoop. It's not happening.
Yeah, maybe I don't even know who Gonzalez is, but all right. I'll take your word for it.
Good defense. You don't want in there. QJ ruled out official. We got that one.
Yeah.
This Alexa is banned here. I don't care about your watching shit on TV. Get out. What else?
People get so mad about the food stuff. Hasn't even been all that bad today. Like there hasn't been anything super controversial.
People love food, though. They go on and on. I think this is the last major one. Do you got said you maniacs put cheddar on your tacos? Maybe that's for Canadians, but people definitely put cheese on their tacos. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Is he just saying specifically cheddar cheese? Like maybe we're supposed to put like a Mexican blend or something on there. I don't know. I'm good with the cheddar on there for sure.
Yeah. We might have talked about this before. That's where the cheese curds. The only place I've ever used them or known about them is on a poutine, and that's Canadian. But do you ever have one of these?
No, but I do remember talking about it. I think last year. Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Cheese curds, and then you get like a dark gravy on top of it, and then you can put other stuff. But like people start to whip them all up. But this is the one that people do up here a lot. So
yeah.
All right. Anything else you see? Okay. No. Two touchdown take title. What did you end up on? You might go to your spot.
Yeah, there's no chance. Judkins getting twice. Hoop's he just laughed. Hoop's getting owned on this one. Come on, Hoop.
No, I can't do it. I'm out. I'll take the dude on the other side though. Give me Jalen Warren
next week. I'll win today.
I'm taking Jalen Warren. Give me two.
All right, can we get a bet 1-on-1?
That's a same game bet. Yeah.
Who has more fantasy points?
Yeah. What do you want? Just so I'd prefer just friendly bets.
We don't need big. Yeah, I mean, we can like if you actually want a crop top. I mean, I'll see you on a crop top on a show on Monday or something if you want that. If you want,
I have access. I mean, I have a 13-year-old daughter, so I have access to any sort of article of clothing that you would want. So crop top bet then.
Yeah, so it's gotta be like right. We can't get kicked off of YouTube, but you got.
Yeah, we can lower the camera a little bit for a little. Yeah, we'll do a crop top. Yeah, crop top bet. Yeah,
on Monday. All right.
Yep.
All right, I'm going with my boy Tucker Kraft. Two touchdown Tucker. That's what we're doing today. So 2 touchdown Tucker Kraft is going to round it out tonight for everybody. So in before Cody Berry too. Got you, Cody. Love the logo. Appreciate that. In with my boy Nades. Got to trust him when he's rolling. He's only been on him 1 in 6 weeks, buddy. So make sure to know this is the day for my buddy Nades. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here? Anything else you want to bring up?
Let's have a big day today. Get those logos at the top. I'm liking the slate. Good momentum here on the show. Going to lead us into some big time scores today.
Yeah, enjoy it. Every Sunday's fun. Football day. Good luck to everybody.
Man, this sounds amazing. I got to go eat something after this. We appreciate you guys. It was a lot of fun. If you watch this on replay, make sure you hit that like on the way out for Title, for Hoop, and for myself, ToeTagginTambo. Let's ship it.